Well, hey, welcome back to the channel. This video we're going to post and putting together today is a little different than the others. The others about what we're doing, working out on the construction job. But this one just, yeah, we were at King Lumber there to get materials for a job we're doing in the area. So we just happened into a lot of conversation with the owner and his son. And we were talking about, I'm from Agricola, Mississippi. Just had some good conversation, and I listened to him talk about, and we shared a lot of memories of the same areas that we're from and stuff like that, and things that we did back in the day in the 70s and 80s, and all the way back into the 50s for him. It was real interesting. So anyway, I hope y'all enjoy the video, and it'll be a lot of fun. And if you know something or just listen to some of the conversation, maybe you have something to say about it. It was a good time. I enjoy good conversation. To me, what's in good conversation, to some of you it may bore you to death, but I just love to hear what other people have to say. And there's so much history that we all miss out on, and we're just living so hard, living so fast. Stop sometimes and take time just to listen to other people. It's a lot of fun. So hope you enjoy it. Thank you for being here with us, and we'll talk to you soon. See you out on the job. Bye.
I drive up. I leave Slidell about 3 o'clock in the morning and get there for noon.
No, can I help you?
Every year.
Yeah, we're gonna pick up a few things. How you doing today, buddy? He's got me something there.
I get you started.
Yeah, he's already got me going.
Last email I wrote, and hang on one second, and Mike.
All right. Give us just a couple minutes. We'll get this
no
pulled
problem.
for you.
Is the basketball team that defeated Agricola back in '56. We came up here to play basketball, and we were undefeated.
Yeah.
As Agricola High School in 1956, I believe it was. Their team beat our team back then, and that was a big deal, because Agricola was magical basketball.
Well, you called, I done the best I could.
Yeah, yes, sir. If you were 16 in 1956, if you were 16 years old in 1956, how old would you be today?
69.
69 minus 16, you'd be, no, 69 plus 16 years, you'd be 85. So, I was trying to think about the year that Bassville beat Agricola in basketball.
Oh, I can tell you that.
What was your?
1956.
It was 1956.
I was there that night.
You was there.
At Agricola.
It was at Agricola. What was the score?
I don't remember exactly the score,
Yes, sir.
but why the old coach, man, I give him here. He moved up here.
Okay.
They had an 81 game winning streak.
81 games. Agricola had won 81 straight games.
We played that game in Orange Grove. You couldn't ask a better feller to tell you what happened that night. And the boys' game, I think it's Dido and another one of them teams down there.
Mm-hmm.
Come down to the end, the darn clock run over.
Oh.
They had an old clock.
Yeah, old mechanical.
The deciding goal was made in that overrun.
Did it count?
Who wins?
Well, in the overrun time, that don't count.
No. But they made a big issue. They made them all upset. And they was going to throw the game out, even go throw the girls' game out.
Oh my God!
I never seen nothing like it.
But what was the resolve on it? Did they finally decide that?
I don't even know, because I said taking in the Bassville picture.
Let Summerall have it.
They let Summerall.
Summerall went ahead and won state that year, and Bassville beat them 3 times during the regular season.
Oh my goodness! In 1956.
Mother was on that team, that's why it's
Oh, really? Your mother played on the Bassville team? What was her?
did she? Was she on that team? Was Mother on that team?
Well, she finished in 61.
So
She
56.
was on the team
Yeah.
in the 9th grade.
In the 9th grade, yeah. Them some different times, wasn't it?
It was.
Half court. That's all they played. But
So the girls played half
My
court?
wife never played in full court.
Really?
She could have held her own in that too.
I wonder why they'd only play half court.
that's just what
They
they
thought the
did back
conditioning
then.
was more right for women than,
Really?
yeah. It took away all that hard running.
Okay.
And I can see the point both ways.
Yeah. They don't do that nowadays. Them women run up and down the court, and they got to play with some men who want to be women.
Exactly. And God help you if you question them about
I heard that. Just get in trouble.
First and only time I ever been to Orange Grove. That's where they played that tournament.
Yeah. Well, I'll be. Well, so what happened was he was going to graduate from Agricola, but the school burned down. Y'all remember that? So then it was only 1st grade through 8th grade. So he had to go to George County and finish
Yeah.
his education. Golly, that was in the mid 60s. And so a lot of the boys at Agricola, his friends like BJ Taylor, Clifton Taylor, different ones, they had to go to George County and finish. Well, they didn't like it. See, back then there was segregation, so everybody was white at Agricola. Went to Lucedale, things were a little bit different.
Yeah.
And so they didn't go, and they let them graduate not going 12th grade year, just to get them out of here, you know, I guess.
Yeah.
So they graduated them, and
Yeah.
after school burned. And Agricola never went back to a 12th grade.
Sylvia Howell
Sylvia Howell,
from Agricola. They had 2 or 3 sure enough players.
I don't know, it was, there's a lot of Howells down there. Howells, Tanners, Smiths, Haverds, man, with Jones, we got a bunch of them down there and stuff, you know. This was in early 1990s. He was in a van, and they all, a bunch of them got killed, run off the road, going to the shipyard to go to work. And Poochie, they called him, Poochie Stringfellow. He worked at a timber plant. After he got done coaching, he went to work down in Lucedale there, where they treat lumber.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? Tri-State or something like that?
Yeah.
Lumber yard, whatever. And as far as I know, he's worked there ever since.
He was a good ball player.
He was a ball player now.
Jimmy Havard.
Yeah, I don't remember Jimmy
Boy
Havard.
from old bull from a little school down there. What was the name of it?
Is there one out there in Central or Basin? Was there at the time?
Yeah. P.W. Underwood coached down there at that little school, and J.C. Arban.
Jesse
Both of
Arby.
them coached high school down there when they started off coaching.
Okay.
Arban was a personal friend of mine. He died a couple of years ago.
Yeah. George County's had some good coaches over the years. There was one, you remember a guy, this is later on now, but in the 60s, I guess. His name was Donnie Howell. You remember a Howell?
I do.
Donnie Howell. He was one of our football coaches. I didn't play as much as I should, but anyway, he was, that was a good man. He was our principal too after he went on and got educated. Went to school, I'm sure he played football at some college. I don't even know where, but then he got his education there and come back, and he was a principal at our school. He was a good man. I really liked Donnie. Coach Donnie Howell. There's a Gill, last name Gill. He was I think he played ball back years ago.
Yeah.
And there was a Martin, Coach Martin. I remember a Martin. A lot of good people come through there.
Yeah. They had some good boys down there. Good talent.
Yeah.
Or you could go to Lou State?
I went to George County High School. I went to Agricola to the 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then went to George County High School, finished 4 years.
Yeah.
And then went to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, and then went to Southern Miss some.
You played Perk?
No, I didn't play ball in college. I should have. I should have done a lot of things I didn't do, but I was too worried about eating and groceries and making a living.
Right.
I didn't have all them luxuries of
What year did you finish high school?
87,
Yeah.
1987.
We had a camp down there.
Yeah.
Pascagoula.
Yeah, you right, down in Cedar Creek Estates area. Yeah, we had one there.
Price on this came up
Had a camp down there, sure did. We spent,
Stayed on the land.
that's right, and you done a 99-year lease.
And then the state called it back and we had to tear the camp down.
They sure
We
did.
went there in 1950.
See, they did that to a bunch of people.
I know it did.
Like when you go down in Pascagoula, you'd take a left to go down that Cedar Creek Estates, they called it.
Yeah.
Where Cedar Creek came and fed into Dead Man's Lake.
Right.
And that spilled over into the Pascagoula River.
Yeah.
Well, my daddy and them bought a camp down there, and you couldn't own the land, but for like $3,000 bought an old camp.
Yeah.
And I remember that summer, we fixed that camp up, and it wasn't but about 3 feet off the ground, and we raised that thing to about 8 or 10 feet off the ground with steel posts. Daddy would get off these construction jobs. He worked for Brown and Root a lot back then.
Yeah.
And we built that camp, and that was a lot of fun going down there.
Oh, yeah.
Man, we
You
go.
know them sandball?
Oh,
We trot line fish.
yeah, man, we run them trot lines.
4 hours a day.
Yeah, Daddy would
We go
go.
down there and it's 5 men in our neighborhood went together. They went down there in 1950, I believe it was,
Okay,
and built that. That was one of the first prefab camps.
okay,
Some of those guys in the bunch was carpenters.
okay.
And at that time, the Hinton boys owned it. The kind of humpback guys.
There was a Howard. Yeah, it was.
And they had an old ferry there, see.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And they used to haul cars across there before they built the bridge over there on.
Yeah, sure did. Boy, that was back in the
And
day.
when we were down there, they was hauling log trucks across that thing.
I'm surprised you know Howard. That's something now.
Yeah.
He smoked cigarettes like a chimney.
Oh yeah.
Had a hump on his back.
Yeah.
Big old hump. He was real thin.
A
Real.
guy also a professional fisherman down there.
Yeah.
Pretty mature, white-headed.
What's his name?
Bond, I think.
Bond. Now, Howard Bond, that was his brother.
Garvin Bond.
Okay, that was their brother, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
It was Howard and James Bond.
Yeah.
That's right, because he was named like James Bond. We
Yeah.
always talked about that. And Howard was his brother. Howard's kind of the gatekeeper. He would
Yeah.
make sure everything's fine, watch everybody's property. And when the river would come up, our camp was real high.
Yeah.
So when the river would come up, it would flood in his camp.
Yeah.
He'd get his stuff up, and it was the funniest thing. And he would go stay in our camp. And then when the river come back down, he'd go over and clean his out and stay in it.
Yeah.
We did that for years, yeah.
And I tell you what they had there. They loved them Mercury motors.
Yeah, Daddy had a 70 on a Terry Bass boat.
We had Wizards because that's where Sears Roebuck had. And that's where Daddy and them bought them.
A Wizard.
Yeah.
We didn't like a Johnson for nothing. All them old Johnsons back then was white, big, blocky looking motors.
Yeah.
And the Mercurys were kind of round. They looked nice. And I don't know if that was the
What I
reason,
remember, see, I was about 10 years old, something like that.
but Mercury was a fine motor for us. We never had no trouble out of Mercury.
Good motor.
Now, I'm
But
sure
there
there's
was
plenty
a
of.
old lake. We fished one old lake across the river from the camp.
That's right.
And then there's one above us right there on the right.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name
Do
of it.
you remember that Popsoli area? They called it Popsoli.
Yeah.
They had a lake over there called Wilson Lake. You remember that lake?
No, that's the only two I really remember because we fished both of those I just mentioned.
Well, that Wilson Lake, when you pulled into Cedar Creek, you took a left through the woods, and you'd have to have. We had a '77 Ford Bronco, Daddy'd put tires on it and built it where we could go all through the woods and get back there to it. And people always left a couple of aluminum boats in there so you could tie it off so you'd have something to fish out of.
Right.
Kind of shared boats down in there.
So you artesian well still out there.
Yeah, toward Buzzard Roost.
Yeah.
Yeah, it still runs. My granddaddy, when I was growing up, we used to stop that artesian well every time we was down that way.
Now,
He'd
this
get a
well,
couple,
You go past Buzzard Roost a little piece.
and it's down on the right.
Yeah.
You walk off, it's got a cliff to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only artesian well I know that the public could get to down there.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of water out of that well over the years. My granddaddy would stop there and get a couple of gallon jugs full, bring it home.
Yeah.
That's odd, we was in them same
Yeah,
stomping
man,
ground.
We sang off in sandbars. Day and night didn't matter. What used to get, I was just about 12 years old,
Yeah,
and we'd get out, run the lines, get everything just right. Got in the bed. 30 minutes later, all right, boy, let's go.
yeah.
And boy, I hated to get out of that good warm bed. And at midnight, we'd be singing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'd have to be careful too, because you could take your seine net and pull it up on the sandbar. There'd be snakes in that thing. You'd have to watch what you do. And we did all that at night. We'd frog gig. Daddy was a tube welder. Back when I was growing up, he worked in different mills and stuff as he called him a gold arm welder. He was really good with stainless steel, TIG welder. He would make frog gigs and stuff. And he'd put them on cane poles, and he would build the gigs, right? And we would take that boat and run up and down the river. That's how I learned how to really operate a boat, a motor, in and out of them old logs. And boy, he'd shine them frogs. I'd have to hold the light just right. He'd ease up there. Boy, we gigged a many frog going past Good River. And then we'd go back to the camp, and we'd pull up to the wharf there, we'd pull them frogs out, and Daddy'd cut their legs off and throw them overboard. They'd swim away with no legs.
Yeah.
And I remember one night we were doing that, and I was watching them swim away, and upside the boat, big old moccasin with his head, he's wanting to eat trying to get to them frogs.
Yeah.
Whew. 1,000 wonders we didn't get bit by snakes more often.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the way it was for you,
Ferry,
Dad.
they call it tonight. It's something ferry.
Oh,
Wilkerson. Wilkerson's Ferry.
Wilkerson Ferry?
Yeah.
Wilkerson Ferry.
Now, you go to Buzzard Roost, you go straight out to the river.
Yes, sir.
Then they later on put a concrete ramp there.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. That's something that we, even from 2 generations. What's your age now? What are you, about 65?
83 next month.
83. I'm 55 and you're 83, and we've been in the same spots doing some of the same stuff.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to go down there and do anything? Or
A few times, yeah.
I don't know if it
Yeah.
done moved on from there.
Yeah, they closed it. The state took it back and took it away from us.
And they did us too.
Yeah.
You couldn't go down there no fool with it. Well, look, we looks like we loaded. We're gonna get out of your way.
Good to see you, man.
Hey, y'all take care. We'll see you soon.
Thank you. Thank
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Crazy stories. In the 70s and 80s. That is just wild as it can be. Just to know that all the way in Bassfield, Mississippi, I meet a guy in his 80s, done all the same things I've done, been the same places. Human mind is pretty crazy. I fella remember that. His old hard drive's failing him a little bit, but he's in good shape. I really like them folks there, nice people.